Hello and a warm welcome to you as you join us for another Paramics Discovery 24 video tutorial. This is now the 8th in our series, so if you haven't seen any of these so far, I would encourage you to go back and have a look at all the video tutorials we've done for this version, which is coming out this summer 2020. Now, this video tutorial today is quite a simple one in one sense. It's just a small feature that's going to improve your functionality when modeling public transport, and that is the ability to add in some variation around dwell times for buses, trams, and other forms of public transport. So let's have a look at this new feature. So to demonstrate this feature today, I'm going to be using two versions of Paramics Discovery. I've got version 23 in front of me here, and I've also got a version of 24, which you can see. So version 24 has a slightly lighter background than version 23. Now in 23, I'm going to go to my PT services dialog, and I can see there's several PT services in this model. If I go to one of them, which is Route 1 eastbound, and zoom in on one of the stops there, so stop 72, I can see we've got a stop time of 10 seconds and just one time frame for this stop. Now if I go to the same model in version 24 and my PT services, I can see for the same stop within version 24, I have a minimum and a maximum stop time. So that's the new feature here in version 24, is the ability not just to find an exact stop time for public transport, but a minimum and a maximum stop time. So bringing in some variation about how buses or other public transport will stop at this stop. So I'm going to make some changes here. We'll just increase the maximum time to 20 seconds. And I'm going to go to my PT schedules just to check how frequently this bus is running. So it's coming every minute, so we can easily pick up a bus in this example. And I'm going to save that model. Now what this is going to do is for each bus that comes along, it's going to be randomly choosing a time between the minimum value, which is 10 seconds, and the maximum value, which is 20 seconds. Whereas previously it would always have done exactly 10 seconds. So it brings in a bit of variation, which makes it that bit more realistic. So let's have a look at this bus. We can see it stopping there just a few seconds after 1 minute past 7. And it leaves maybe the full 20 seconds actually in that case. So it went very close to or right up to the maximum value of 20 seconds. If we have a look at this one, which stops at exactly 2 minutes past 7. Let's have a look at when that leaves again. And it's leaving at about 18 or 19 seconds after 7. So we can see that it's choosing a value between 10 and 20 seconds. And we're going to get some a random choice of what that value is. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my version 24 model and just going to create a couple of time frames so that we can see the shift from dwell time between two different time frames. So I'm just going to set one as starting at 7 and the other one starting at 5 past 7. I'll leave my 10 and 20, and then what I will do is increase my values in the second time frame to 60 as a maximum and 30 as a minimum. Okay, and I'll go back to the Visualize tab and refresh. So this is going to go back to 7 a.m. as the start time for my simulation, and we'll see some buses coming along. So for the first 5 minutes, these buses again would be choosing a random time between 10 and 20 seconds. And then once we get to the 5-minute mark, they'll be choosing a random time between 30 and 60 seconds. So let's get past 7:05 and then we can start to see those longer dwell times happening. So we're just coming close to it now, possibly the next bus. It looks like it is, and we can see that bus, and already it's gone past the 20 seconds, so let's keep running that on. And we can see that's clearly staying past 30 seconds, and then it moves. So it's almost stayed there for the 60 seconds in that case. And we can see the next bus already coming along right behind it because they're being released only 1 minute apart in this model. So hopefully that gives you a sense of this new feature, that you can now set a minimum and maximum dwell time for your buses or other public transport, and that you can change that minimum maximum depending on the time frame that you choose. And you've got an unlimited number of time frames that you can choose. So there's really a lot you can do here to play around with the dwell times of your public transport and just make it that more realistic. So just one more thing to add into this video tutorial, and that's the ability to view this data in the inspector and then to export that data if you wish. So within the inspector, we do have a drop down for PT service stop times, and you can see that there. And so by adding in these two time frames with a minimum and maximum stop times, you can see that they're presented in the inspector. And we can also export that data as a CSV file and view it there. So I've exported that. If I open up my CSV file, I'll be able to see the new data presented in that. So if you want to review and check a model for the minimum and maximum dwell times by time frame, you can simply do that by looking in the inspector and exporting that data. So that's it for another video tutorial today, as we've looked at the ability to introduce some variation in public transport dwell times. Thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another video tutorial. Bye for now.